Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Paranormal Swamp Talking. I'm your host, Howard Petrie, along with host, the Rare Ball Sasquatch, Mr. Tim Kohler. Miss Rosie Page she might be joining us later. She has some things she had to take care of. And our guest tonight is Mr. Greg Beckett. How you doing, Greg?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Oh, pretty good, man. It's a long time no see.
I know.
I just saw Denise Pack in the comments here. Denise, I was hoping Ernie would tune in on Friday on the 13th Dimensions because I have biscuits and gravy for dinner.
Isn't it past his bedtime, though, when you're on?
I'm not sure.
It's like 7 p.m. or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about right. And I want to give right now, I want to give an apology. I might be coughing a lot through the broadcast, not as much as I want. I mean, I'm going to try to, I got me a big drink over here with a pitcher and try to subside all that. And I've been taking coughs. I'm just getting over the COVID. I had the Delta variant. And I've been feverish and everything else. And they wanted to put me in the hospital and on a respirator. And I told them, hell no. That's like a death warrant right there. So they just let me go home. And I got that antibody transfusion. And it helped a lot. God, it helped a lot. And but I still have some stuff in my lungs and I'm still spitting up. And it's just a nasty thing. But anyway, I want to. Like I said, I do want to apologize in advance for that. And like I said, Miss Rosie, she might be joining us later.
And I want to ask everybody to remember Scotty Wilson in your prayers. He's getting called back out at midnight tonight.
Oh yeah,
to go plow.
Yep.
So the guy's been working around the clock here. We've had a crazy day here in Indiana. So.
It depends on what kind of plowing you're talking about.
He plows downtown area.
Well, how many women is he hooking up with?
What's that?
How many women is he hooking up with? He's plowing through that many women?
No.
I was going to be the serious one here and say that they're the unsung heroes, but Howard beat me to the.
and Ricky, yeah, he does, especially against my leg. But yeah, Jeremy, already the ball was going off before we even started the show.
Oh my goodness.
That cat ball's been going off the whole time. It's been great.
I thought I would bring some other guests with me tonight, not just have it be me in case the conversation stalls. So then, they can join in.
Never stalls. Heck,
I don't think that could ever happen between the three of us.
But it felt like the ball the whole night so far has been like, whoa, don't forget about me. So
now I had one question, Greg, that I've always wanted to ask you, and I don't think I ever have.
It's a real beard, yes.
Mine too, in the gray, and it's real too.
I wondered about that. Yeah,
mine too.
Well, I tell everybody, I raised 3 daughters, so the hair loss. All the men in my family have full heads of hair, so this is straight up from raising 3 daughters. My youngest one just turned 19 yesterday, so yeah, I tell everybody it didn't fall out; it went on retreat. I yanked it out by the handfuls.
For worrying,
I have to grow it down here because we can't grow it up here anymore.
That's right.
I was just looking at the comments. I just want to say hey there to those who are in the comments section tonight. So good to see so many people there tonight.
Yeah, there's quite a few people on tonight.
Absolutely.
I guess they wanted to see a dead man walking. That's what it is. They want to see if I'm going to make it through the show and fall out dead.
That's why I gave you the equipment cam in case you were going to switch over to that screen during the broadcast. So,
Or if I drop dead now, I come through that.
You can come through. Yeah, that's what I mean.
I still keep going.
Yeah, no,
right.
I wouldn't expect you to stop. You're a professional, so
that's right. That's why I'm on tonight. Everybody said you should rest and take it easy and everything. No, I got to do the show. So
yeah.
So,
Lord
so
gracious.
Tim, what was your question? Did you ever ask me a question, or did that?
No, I never asked you a question. Oh gosh, 7 daughters. Yeah, I'd have died. I'd have flat out died.
Denise said she got 4.
I could
My
barely
question
think of
for
a
you,
cat.
Greg, is you're kind of known throughout our community anyway, especially to me, as the spirit box guy. The spirit box guru is what I call you.
Oh, look, there's Ernie.
And it's because you've done so much with it and you've taught me so much about it. So my question to you is, what do you say to people out there who don't really believe in using them or discredit them?
I say, in all honesty, I say that's a very valid opinion. It's your opinion. I'm not here to sway you. My job here isn't to go to someone and say, oh, you know what, I'm going to prove to you that it's accurate, because I got backup over here at the moment. I mean, if people don't want to believe, and I think that goes the same with just paranormal in general, that's just how it goes. That's just kind of the way it is. But I don't care about having a discussion with people about it, as long as it's a respectful one. I've had people, I've done presentations where I play what I call my evidence, my recordings. And someone came up to me after one of them and they were like, none of that sounded anything like what you said it sounded like. And, it was like, but it was a respectful conversation. It was like, well, okay, that sound, and we talked a little bit about it. And, at the end of the day, it's like, maybe there will be a point that someone might hear something and they're going to be like, oh yeah, no, this is, I get it now. Or they just may never care. When I got into the field in Minnesota, a lot of the paranormal teams, when I first got into it, I started like hanging out with them and whatnot. I got a lot of people saying, oh yeah, I have one of these, but we never use it. We never use it at all. And then I did a presentation at the event that we were at. And afterwards, everyone came up to me and they're like, we don't ever get any recordings like that. We don't get what you get coming through. And then I started to get invited to some of their events and stuff and their investigations. And I was able to show a number of them how to use it. The thing is that people don't always understand, at least with me. It's like, I know this is not the only way to investigate. And a lot of some of the Minnesota teams that I worked with, they always said to me, well, you know what, this isn't the only way to investigate. Trust me, I know that. This is just a tool and I like using it. If you don't like using it, that's totally cool. There's stuff that some people use that I'm not a really big fan of, or I just don't really think I use that often. And that's just how it works. But that's the thing about it. It's like there's always different things to use, and you don't always have to, use it. Sometimes I'll do an investigation and I don't use it at all. It just doesn't seem applicable. It doesn't seem like it's needed because we're getting what we need and we're getting communication.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it depends on the location too sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Some things aren't wanting to open up. It's good to pull it out because it gives them a different way.
Yeah.
Or if something doesn't really know how to open up.
Mm-hmm.
And your bell's moving too now.
An opportunity?
Yeah.
What's that?
My bell's moving a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now this is what I'm gonna do this very carefully. There is no, apart from my big fat hand hitting the camera, there's no air anywhere nearby it.
Okay.
That's what I immediately want to make sure of, is that there isn't anything that could be making it move. If you're moving the bell, could you turn on another device for us, please? Can you light up one of these balls for us, please? Of course, it doesn't do it when I ask, but
Naturally.
We're doing like crazy right before we even started. I mean, that thing, they were taking turns going off. It was like.
Are there words coming through in your? Is that an Oculus?
There's an Oculus here, and the first one, when I turned it on, said them, THEM. The second one says rate, RATE. We're just waiting for your name to come through, Tim. That's all.
If it comes through and says like and follow, hey. rate rate like it. I'm sorry.
Looks like two of you are going to be transferring over to this other screen here shortly.
Yeah. He's got the Omicron. I got the Delta variant. I told him he had to man up and get this.
I thought those were Transformers, the names of Transformers. I didn't realize that they were actually part of COVID. So that's news to me right now.
The
Omicron, like the leader of the bad guy.
There it's going.
There it goes. Those are the only ones laughing at my jokes. You two aren't, and might as well have the ball laugh at my jokes. So.
Yeah,
it's all good.
I'm just getting over it, so it's still there's still stuff, but
Palo Santo.
Oh, that's what Jeremy's asking. I thought he was talking some weird, like, I saw Ane talking about vampires, so I thought that he was talking about stakes of wood.
Talking about my vampire friend.
They're pieces of wood.
Talking about my voodoo priest / vampire, New Orleans, Papazar.
It's like they're not sharp. I can't hurt anyone with them. So if a vampire came in, I could only just smoke them out. So
or chuck it at them, but it's not gonna do much.
You've never seen my aim. I'd miss some.
Yeah, I don't think it would be extremely effective.
No. This I think this house is enough to repel people, though. It's just kind of in a scary state at the moment. I'm trying to move a bunch of stuff out of here because of a divorce that finally happened. So I'm moving my ex-wife's stuff out of here. But that alone shows that this house is cursed because that alone is slow and not moving. And it's been crazy. It's just been crazy. But, so even though, before you could look at the screen that I'm in and it would just look like the background, but now you could see like stuff seeping in, like paperwork and a chair. It's like nothing is really organized at the moment. So this is really great. Just pretend that this chair is an expensive piece of paranormal equipment I got from Ghost Stop, and that this is like a $700 chair, apparently like a ghost chair or something. So
I gotta get me one of them.
Get it through Bees Ghost.
Bees Ghost. That's what I do. I'm gonna talk to Jesse. Jesse, I need a chair now.
Yeah.
Paranormal chair lights up when you sit on it. So
I was gonna say an electric chair. You could you got the Ghost Arc. Make your own electric chair.
He sent me something else. He's got something else in the works, and it was quite unique. I didn't get a chance to look at it because I've been in and out of it. But I got to go back and look. He sends me stuff that he comes up creatively, and it just blows my mind, the stuff that he can develop.
Yeah. No, and I luckily haven't really taken a look at his website because I don't want to spend all my money. I need to actually live off of it. I need to buy food, pay for my house, my car insurance. I think within a matter of 20 minutes of being in Salina, I dropped about $400 at his table buying, a coffin that like lights up if a ghost comes near it and stuff. It's just like I love it. And those cat balls are there too. And I don't regret one bit of it, but boy, it's just so
I got that box at you. Actually, you said it's almost like a REM pod, but it for some reason it doesn't go beep 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 and all that. It doesn't have all that fancy, It just looks like a old Schifferow box or an old treasure chest box.
Yep.
It has a light on the top of it, and when spirit gets around it, it actually plays music. So it's a music box.
It has a motion sensor.
Yeah.
Right. And it goes in dark places. It doesn't go anywhere where it's too
like
well put up. Yeah.
Oh, you meant I just thought you meant like
I go in dark places.
What's our new word?
Often, yeah.
What's our new word on the Ovilus there?
Bald. No, I'm just kidding. It says but I think that's my tone that set that off, to be honest. I think that's my loudness that set it off when I said that. But see,
yeah,
debunked. But it does say February. That's what came through as February.
Oh, well,
accurate.
Yeah, it is February.
You say something that said pull up your big girl panties.
It's clearly not for me.
I wear thongs. I don't know about panties. I had him going at the emergency room though. Would you bend up? Yeah, go ahead. And they had that thong right in the back. You get a little strap part that comes up.
So
You had him looking at the emergency room, didn't you?
Yeah, they love me.
Greg, I had another question for you, or not really a question, but I think it'd be interesting for our viewers here. Could you explain what all you've got on your equipment cam and why each piece is there specifically?
Yeah, basically what I do, because I every Sunday night I do a thing called Ghost Box Live, which is I do live spirit box sessions, and the purpose of the Sunday night show is to have to bring in loved ones, people's family members who have passed and whatnot. Last couple of weeks we've had we believe we had Sarah on from Waverly Hills. I mean the spirit Sarah, and Denise and Ernie Pack had been there to kind of say that they've heard and whatnot. So we've been doing that. Also, Tuesday night, starting March 1st at 10 p.m., I'm going to do a second night, which is more experimental sessions, very different than what I'm doing Sunday night. And if you want, we could talk about that later. But I always like having a separate camera that shows different things going on. And for nothing other than just effect, really. There's a Ouija board at the bottom. It's a 100-year-old Ouija board that we have bound because we were not happy with what was coming through it at one point. Hey, David. My Tuesday night show is also going to be on his network also, which is awesome. Really exciting. Yeah. The ball's excited too.
It's because David Childress is in there. He knows the balls know when other balls know when balls are coming around. He is Pimp Daddy.
I'm not going to touch that. So there's a bell here, and we're waiting for it to ring. It's never rang, but boy, has it picked up speed sometimes when we start looking at it. And like when Howard said it was moving, it normally starts at that speed. And then when we push it on the camera, then next thing you know, the thing is swinging quite a bit. And, as always, I'm looking to make sure there isn't anything blowing on it, because honestly, what you see is what you get. There isn't anything making anything happen here. We have a REM pod. Once again, these are all just things to get us to see if anyone wants to talk to us any other way. I personally believe that speaking through a spirit box may not be an easy way for spirits to communicate with us. So let's give them other options. I don't have to necessarily hear Aunt Mabel's voice come through. Maybe Aunt Mabel rather turn on a ball or turn the flashlight on. Those are the things that maybe are easier, or come over here and just do that. Now, the REM pod, for the first time in weeks, was going off before the show also. I changed the batteries because they've been in there for a while. And let me tell you, I forget how difficult it is to change a battery in a REM pod. I mean, could you make it any more difficult? Especially when you have no muscle. And then you have the flashlight. You have the Ovilus 5. Normally, I also have an Ovilus 4. But I don't have batteries in it at the moment. But really, the purpose of all of it is to see what we get through spirit-wise. The Oviluses, I don't know about you two, but I kind of take it with a grain of salt. And the necrophonics, yes, I have, and it's an area that I will work with a little bit more. There's another app sort of thing that I use called the Phasma Box, which has been, in my opinion, really good. Also, the Echovox obviously has been one that is very, very touchy, very, in my opinion, it's very not complicated, but you have to get it right to get the right sort of responses, and it depends on where you are. It's not like you set it and forget it. Every location requires something different in terms of how you set it, and there's a lot of ways you can set it. But boy, when it works, it works. Both the Phasma Box and the Echo Box work off of echoes coming through and the manipulation of echoes to get communication. The spirit boxes that I generally use do not. Also, then you see we have the 2 cat balls that will light up, and there's been a couple times we've had some really good sessions on Sunday night where I would just be like, can you please light up the ball if this is you? And it lights up. So we've been having some really good success with that. And then we just have different stones and stuff all around. I call this over here the.
What kind of stones do you have up there?
How many what?
What kind of stones do you have up there right now?
Well, we have this round, shiny one. Yes, they have names, but I
I'm not a stone person either, so that's
we have
crystals and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know none of that crap.
We have. That's me. I mean, it has to be me. I put it down at that point. It's like a little casino, though, wasn't it? That's fun.
Yeah, no, it was like I won something.
Yeah, right. And in fact, we won nothing. None of us won anything. There's also St. Michael medal in the salt there. Just a little bit of protection. You know, same to Paul Santo. It's been fun to see what comes through. It's been fun to see what happens, and that's. It's the only downside to it is when people come over to work on the house or they need to come through and look at something, and this is up all the time. And so they come through and they think I'm going to like sacrifice them. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Oh, that's right. I was going to send you all my address. You had asked for that. Yes.
You got to get that EAD stone. That's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah, no. And they mentioned that on Sunday and they said that I should send them my address. And I totally forgot to do that. So thank you for the reminder, Denise.
Even Ernie said it. He's gonna.
Yeah. It's just been. It's since like, and like Tim mentioned himself. It's been so crazy lately. There's been just a lot of stuff going on. It's been hard to kind of keep up with, like just messages and whatnot. So it's been a good crazy, but it's like I have no memory retention. So a lot of times stuff like goes in and out, and such as life. So
I thought Tim got up and he was playing with his pecker over there a minute ago.
My dog. We have a really old dog, and he's quite literally at the end of his days, and.
I thought you was getting ready to take a pee in that corner.
Dogs want him to play with them and trying to roughhouse with him, and he's just not having it.
I thought he was playing talk show host, where he was going to be behind his curtain, and then he gets introduced and he comes back out. I mean,
he was stooped down, looking downward, and he had his hands in front of him. That looked like a key position to me. No. I mean,
I was letting him out.
One in front of us, one behind the curtain, and that's a different show altogether.
He needed to go to the bathroom and be let out for a little while. So he's very old, and unfortunately he's very close to the end of his life. So
like me, that's
the significance of the pyramid is balance and calmness.
Yes.
And so I had the pyramid over by the REM pod, and then one night Suits was watching after his Sunday show. He was watching my Sunday show, and he's just like, "You got to move that pyramid to the front of everything, because that is where because then you're gonna get more spirit responses." And I didn't do it that night, only because as you saw, you barely even look at the board and everything goes off. I really didn't want to manipulate the bell, because the bell is always something that we look at in particular. So I just waited till the next week. And it was interesting because Suits actually remembered. He's just like, during his show, and he saw I came on, he's like, "And you better have moved that pyramid." And I'm like, wow. Yeah, don't worry. It's moved. It's all moved. So I have another co-host that I think I might be able to introduce you all to if you're interested.
Sure.
His name is Linus, and if you watch my Sunday show, he makes an appearance every single week, except Sunday, this last Sunday. And it's interesting because we try to do love and light only on the Sunday shows, but and in general, right? But things got a little weird Sunday because what we thought we were getting in. And it's interesting that this little furry jerk, I called you a jerk, didn't show up at all. And I really do believe it's because they can feel the energy and whatnot. Right? Hello?
Makes sense to me.
You alive?
Linus ought to have his own show. That lady, she just watches just for Linus. Not you, Linus.
The thing about Linus is that he is better looking than I am, better attitude, better personality.
Yeah,
So
laid
what can I say? I can't compete. People they also said they tune in to watch the wood in the other on that other equipment cam. It's more interesting than watching me. So you just so anyway. All right, Linus.
My cat's an asshole.
It's about me, not you. Go away.
Right, he stuck his ass right in. I mean, he'll do that on purpose. He'll walk past me and just like I'm on a phone or whatever on a computer, walk right past me and he'll back his ass up to my face.
That means he loves you.
I have to push him out the way. I keep having to push him out the way. I'm scared he's going to spray me.
Our cat's huge, and he weighs about 25 pounds. Well, one of them. But we have two cats. We have Bagheera, who's all black, and of course named after the Jungle Book Black Panther. And then we have Shere Khan, who's a little kitten. But Bagheera has made me his human. And when I'm trying to sleep, he likes to climb up on me and then lay his head and front paws on my chest and start rubbing his face against my beard. He likes the feel of my beard. So he will rub his head, and I'm like, dude, I'm trying to sleep.
Crystal likes your beard too.
Yeah, she won't let me shave it off.
You want to shave it off?
Not really, but she won't allow me to shave it off.
I need the beard to look like a human being. That's what I mean. It took me years to grow it. First of all, I started growing this in like 1995. But it's if I take it off, I've seen pictures. I remember me without it. It's not a pretty thing. So, Ane said he rose from the dead. Who rose from the dead?
I think he was talking about.
You put up a comment.
Oh, Ernie said we had a dark energy invade the show Sunday.
Yeah, we did. That was the whole thing. That's why I was saying that Linus didn't show up at all. Normally he's at least down here. Maybe I don't put him on camera, but he was upstairs. He was not coming down. So what we believe happened, and I haven't gone through all of the recordings yet, which I'm trying to. And one of the things that I'm really trying to do is have something to show for the next Sunday show every week about what we just heard.
Linus.
Oh, Linus Rose. Yeah, he did. Yeah, well, the thing about Linus, I know I'm switching stories really fast, but on my headboard and I have all the feathers that I have collected. Yeah, he's all thumbs. He's polydactyl, so he has thumbs in his paws.
Yeah, I got David Childress in there. He's trying to be funny. He's a funny man.
You know what they always say, Howard? You kiss a cat for good luck. It doesn't say where you have to kiss them, and he's just putting, just letting you know it's right there.
He's gonna spray me. That's what that's what.
Depends on the quality of the kiss, is what I'm thinking.
We got ours neutered so that way that doesn't happen.
I don't know, like South Park when they had the cat spray in their faces. All them kids were getting stoned from the cat spray.
My old cat, my parents' old cat, Tasha, she used to spray my dad whenever he tried to get her out. He just and she's like the door and everything. And that smelled amazing, as you can imagine.
We do our best to listen to Bob Barker and and have our pets spayed or neutered. We have no female pets. All of our pets are male.
I got females. I got all except 2 dogs are males. The rest are females, 4 of them. And then the cat, he's a male. That's it.
Yeah.
Everything else is females.
So I was just saying on Sunday night when we were trying to reach out to Sarah at Waverly Hills, we believe that the man who killed her, who seems to follow her and maybe tied to her, that energy came through, and it actually affected me. Started affecting the record. That started affecting what was coming through the spirit box. That
was the dark energy that they were talking about.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, Greg, my best spirit box session was at Waverly.
Okay.
And it was in Sarah's area.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this man who kept coming through with all these a lot of foul language. F it, F this, screw you. I'm not talking to you. And he was talking over anything else that tried to talk.
Mm-hmm.
And finally I said, are you talking so much and being so rude just to talk over Sarah? And a female voice came through the spirit box and said, yes. Real sassy.
Wow.
Yes. And that to me was direct response. That was the first time I had the spirit box to me really, really prove that what I was asking was in direct response to me.
Those intelligent responses are the best. And so that Sunday before, I ended up, this funny thing about Sunday's show, our toilet overflowed in the middle of the night and our breaker blew. Well, and to be fair, Denise, Ernie said to me, send it back to him. He did say that in a message. And I did, because he said he knew what to do. And, hopefully he knew how to also clean up that mess. But the thing was also we got something the week before, because I asked in the session to Sarah, I said, you do know that you are loved? And eventually a female voice says, I know. But right after I said that, a male voice came through and said, I do. And what, it just kind of like didn't really think about it. I didn't know her story really at that point. We played it. My friend Shar and I do a paranormal class every Monday. And I played it this past Monday, some of this stuff, because we were going through everything that we captured. And the student said to us, she's like, well, could that I do be him? Kind of like he's always there. He's always answering. And it's like, I don't see why not. So yeah, that was really interesting. Like even then he's getting, like you said, Tim, he's getting into the responses. He's just making sure that people know that he's there. Like his presence that just is like, yeah, she can answer, but I'm here. And that's kind of frightening to me, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very frightening. Yeah, I've been able to. It's been rough. I haven't been smoking as much, but I'm over the Omicron. They said I'm no longer contagious with that. I just have a lingering sinus infection that's been about to kill me.
Isn't Omicron the one that transforms into like a VW Beetle or something like that?
No. The funny thing is,
talking about COVID. Sorry.
The funny thing is, Alpha, Beta, Delta. Those are the first letters in the Greek alphabet. Omicron is the middle letter in the Greek alphabet. So, if we start seeing, I'm hoping we start seeing Omega strand, because Omega strand will be the last strand of COVID.
Megatron.
Yeah, as Don said, Megatron will be the next one. You're looking at a picture of health over here, okay? I mean, look at this, like perfection, right? So,
the best part about it was I lost weight.
Well, I've lost weight too. I figured it out because I knew I was losing weight, and I kept track. I lost since the beginning of December, I've lost 20 pounds, and I'm very pleased with myself about that.
That's great. That is great.
David writes, good night, guys. I'm bored with your guest. I will watch tomorrow.
Oh, David's cat.
Yeah, he's just cranking on you.
If you guys would have actually read the comment, he said he didn't say that at all. So.
Yeah, I read it.
He's a character. I love David. Oh, he's a good guy.
Ernie said he always seems to come through when we're communicating with Sarah, and that was definitely true that night for me. Crystal was there, I was there, and Amanda Kinley's son Gage was with us. And I mean, it was just spewing expletives.
Mm-hmm.
And the only time I caught a female voice was when I said, "Are you talking so much to try to talk over her?" Because at that point, I'm like, this thing's taunting us by saying this stuff.
Yep.
So I'm going to taunt it. So I started calling him a coward. I was like, the only kind of man that preys on someone weaker than him is a coward.
Yep.
If you're not willing to fight somebody as big as you, then you're not, or bigger than you, and you have to prey on people weaker than you, then you're a coward.
Well, and
So
he's also
I started saying that kind of stuff to him. And I said, are you just trying to talk so she can't talk through this thing to us? Are you trying to talk over her? And I hear this female voice say, yes.
Yep.
And they had all the sass in the world. I loved it.
That's great. You have a recording of it?
I believe I do, yes. Because we were running our EVP recorder.
Y'all get to and get them together and see if it's the same voice.
Now,
And at the same time, I had the laser grid pen set up and was going throughout the whole wall.
mm-hmm.
And we, at the same time that we started calling him a coward and stuff, we started seeing the dots moving, like something was blocking out the dots.
Nice.
So we had all three things happen simultaneously. So for me, it was just a great confirmation.
Well, and he's also not very bright because according to Denise's comment, that he tries to bully her, but he clearly hasn't seen how she treats Ernie. So, if he saw that, he would be like, no, I'm not getting involved with her, man. I don't want that. I don't want any of that. So
no, the reason I called him a coward is because of what he'd done, because of the Sarah story. So right. For me, any man that preys on somebody weaker than him is a coward, Yep. And
I would agree.
Yeah. It's just who I am. And how I was raised, and it's just my thing. But at any rate, I thought that in that situation, because he was trying to talk over her, maybe if I provoked him a little bit, he may back off. Or maybe if I said, hey, look, I'm probably way bigger than you are, he would back off. At the same time, Crystal got scratched. She was the only female in the group.
Yeah, that's not surprising to me. I'm sure it's not surprising to you, Tim, right? Because once again, a coward. But he wants to show he's angry, but he's not going to do it to you.
Normally I don't provoke. I hate provoking.
Yeah. But
there's certain situations that I will if I feel like that situation would call for it. There's one house close by here where we have a similar incident where a man preyed on a woman. And for some reason, that spirit becomes more active when you provoke him a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's what I do there. But I don't do it to the extent that Jeremy York does. Jeremy York, we did a live there once, and Jeremy York went full on gorilla monsoon on this guy. But yeah, I mean, he just seems to be more active when we do it. So we do it at that location. Normally, though, especially when I go into someone's home or something, I try to be extremely respectful.
So my question is this, and this is one for maybe the mediums who are watching tonight, if they care to even think about it. I feel like that Sarah and this guy are tied together because of what happened. Because, I mean, I don't think it's just a matter of him following her through eternity. I think that there is something that ties them now together because of it. I'm curious if anyone else feels that way, and if we know why that's the case, because because I'm sure many people have tried to separate so that that like you were trying to do, Tim, like trying to just like intimidate him out or whatever else, but nothing seems to work. So what's holding those two in the same place for what looks like eternity?
Yeah, but what happens if you're going in there, a male, and you go in there and you intimidate this person, whatever this thing is, and what it does, it just takes it out on Sarah.
Yeah,
after the fact. I mean, that's what I'm. That's what I would.
And I would hate to think that. Like I said, I was trying to get him to back off, maybe, so we could get some other responses to the spirit box, because he was just every response we got. Crystal just walked in, and she would probably nod her head yes. The spirit box session we did at Waverly, every response we got was just F it. F it.
Yeah, and Greg knows as well as you do that that's a huge fine for FCC guidelines.
Yeah.
Yep.
Greg knows as well as I do that if you're going through radio stations, that's a word that's a big no-no on a radio.
Yeah.
So you're talking huge fines from the FCC. So those words can't be said through on air. So therefore, those words are coming through there can't be from local radio stations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just reading
Yeah,
comments.
I agree, Ernie. He doesn't want her story told because he wants the lie told, because the lie doesn't make him out to be a bad person.
Mm-hmm. Well, and also kind of changing gears a little bit, I find the same thing. I mean, at millions of locations, such as can't think of her name, who killed her parents out east, but also like Villisca is another example of that. The kids are still there. The mom is still there. Nobody can cross them over. They still exist, and all the kids who were axed, they're still there, and they're not going anywhere. So it is like they're I don't even know if they're trapped, because we had a medium when I went there years ago who was like, the mom won't let them all move on. Now, is that true? I don't know, but that's what we heard from the medium. Maybe other people have heard different things. That's the problem, is that these stories generally mutate over time anyway. But one thing's for certain, because I was with people who are like, well, you know what? We're going to cross them over. Okay, you do that. And they did, only to find that they didn't. It's one of those things that people think, oh yeah, well, I'll take care of it here. I know what I'm doing. And it's not that they don't know what they're doing, but some places aren't able to do, like, you're not able to do the stuff that you think that you can do. That's why they stay there,
And Denise, that's a great point. And yes, Nick, it was last year when we were there. It was the second night we were there. But Denise said, Sarah's Waverly was heaven for her. And I believe that. I really do that. People go to places that they loved in life. They don't necessarily, or they go with people that they loved in life, and not necessarily are bound. I believe we're given choices after we die. That's just my personal beliefs.
Yes.
And people can choose to stay here and wait until, I have a spirit box session recorded where I hear my dad's voice. My dad was a minister, and he was, if he ain't getting into heaven, ain't nobody going.
In my
I'm
opinion,
just going to say that, in my opinion.
Though, Tim, I think that once you cross, you can come back.
I think so too. I think you can come back and look in on your your people.
The ones who don't cross, and once again, this is my opinion, is that they're the ones who feel like either they have unfinished business or they're attached to something. Like, some people love their house so much that someone else moves in and starts ripping around the wallpaper and stuff. And they're like, well, what are you doing to my house? Well, it's not really your house. You've been dead for 10 years, So let me ask you this, Denise, or Ernie. Has Sarah ever said, apart from the fact that, sure, this jerk off keeps coming into like the recordings and stuff, is he still threatening her? Like, is he still, because you mentioned that Waverly is heaven to her. She loves being there. Does he still suppress her? Like, is she still scared of him? Or is he just someone who's just kind of like this little mite that's in her way, and she just accepts that you have this, asshole basically that will do whatever he wants, but it's not horrible for her?
Huh. I like Anita's comment there.
Is it that Greg's awesome? Oh, sorry.
Well, my dad had told my mom that if he went first, he would wait
Okay.
for her. That's why I believe what I believe. He told my mom that he would wait for her and go to heaven with her. So I think he's still around waiting on mom.
Well, and to that fact too, like my dad passed before my mom did. You got to wonder if he waited for her also, because I could see him doing that. It took a long time for my dad to come through in any sort of device for me, and part of me thinks it's because he didn't understand how to use a device because it was technology, but also because it just, that bond was so close, and I actually believe that's one of the reasons why my mom died so shortly after him, like 4 years only, because she missed him so much and that bond was so strong. So it would be very interesting if someone like Anne could tap into the energy at some point and be like, oh, what is it that what is that? Because maybe Ernie and Denise know, and I've been reading the comments, but it's because she's still scared of him. And that's sad, because she still feels Waverly is a great place, but it's still it's scary. And Denise, are you saying that this guy killed more than Sarah? That it's almost like, if you're talking about my mom, because we've talked about that before, absolutely, which she hid actually from us. I don't know if my sister, who I know she was watching, I don't know if she got that, but I think mom hid the fact that she was so brokenhearted by dad's sudden passing that it ultimately, like, she stopped caring about life a long time ago, which was, it's very sad, and she kept it from us.
My mom's in the same boat.
She died. My mom died, and we don't really completely know what she died from. They have, some stuff was going on inside her, but we don't know. There wasn't anything that you could say like, oh, it's cancer, it's this, it's that. We don't really know what it was. And, and it's just, my mom is really good at hiding things from us in the sense of her feelings and whatnot. Very strong. I was just telling someone the other day that she broke her back years and years and years ago and laid on the couch for months instead of going to the doctor, and years later, so a doctor said, did she break her back? We're like, I think so. So, she was, it's sad. It's too bad. We could have helped her. My sister was really good at always being there for her.
Yeah. My mom is still living, but she's going through the same thing. She has no will to live because of my dad not being there.
Yeah.
My dad passed in 2020. But May of 2020. But when he passed, they had been together since the 6th grade. They started dating in the 6th grade. They graduated high school May 31st and got married June 1st.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
no, it's I'll say this of my parents, so I don't want to put this on your parents, but it's tragically beautiful in some way.
It is.
Not that that's how it should be. But I remember before my dad passed, he was living in a care home because he was having problems with his back. And the Sunday before he died, which was on a Monday, my mom picked him up and surprised him by bringing him back to their house one more time, where he had lived for the past 40 years or whatever it was. And she let him just enjoy his music and have a day there. Then they went and had a picnic somewhere. And it was just the two of them. And I always look at it this way. It was how it started, was how it ended. Just the two of them. And they had that day. And then the next day he had a fatal heart attack. And we didn't think there was anything wrong with his heart. We think what ultimately happened, we don't know this for certain, but what ultimately happened was that it probably was too aggressive of a rehabilitation program for him to get his back better and his legs stronger, and it was too much for him. That's what we think. We weren't trying to go after suing anyone or anything, but that's what we thought it was, because the fact that he had died was a massive, massive shock to all of us. We did not expect it whatsoever. And
it was the same. It was the same way with my dad. My dad died in his sleep of a massive heart attack. He literally went to bed and never woke up.
I have.
So for me, that brought me a lot of peace because I know he didn't have to suffer a whole lot. The thing with my dad is, we went fishing a couple of days before he passed.
Yeah.
I caught fish left and right. My son caught a couple. My dad didn't catch anything. So I knew something was kind of off.
Because he always caught fish. He was really good at it, or
my dad was my tattoo for my dad is a fishing boat.
More breasts, please.
And the line comes off the boat and it says Dad.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Is it hooked on the nipple?
But my dad was he liked to make the joke. It was his idea of a joke, but he liked to make the joke. I'm a fisherman and a fisher of men. He was a pastor.
Oh.
So he loved to tell that. Anybody that would hear it. But he would go out and fish all the time. And he would just take days in the summertime when my son was off school. And right after he retired, he'd just take a day and take my son and go fishing. I'm stuck at work and my dad and my son are out fishing.
Right, Chrissy? You're right.
I don't have any tassels. I didn't show that part,
Chrissy. Would it
Chrissy.
be tassels or would it be fishing line hanging?
Yeah, fishing line wrapped around.
Right.
Yeah,
and
it might fall off.
A line and a hook.
Hook.
That sounds dangerous, but
yeah,
I'm
I
glad
just got a hook
in
pierced through it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
But no, with him, it was, he had that. Then 2 days later, we had Memorial Day, and the whole family was at mom and dad's for a cookout.
Mm-hmm.
And he was smiling and laughing, having a great time. I cut his hair. I always cut his hair for him. And, he was a high and tight kind of guy. Mm-hmm. He was a high and tight guy. So, just clippers. But I cut his hair for him. He had a great day. And then the next day he passed. That night he passed. So it was one of those things where we found peace with that.
Yep.
But on the same hand, it was so unexpected and so sudden that it shocked us.
I remember going to my mom's at like 2 a.m. after I found out he had passed. I'm thinking to myself when I'm driving over to mom's with the family to console him. I thought by the time I'd get there, maybe the fact that they resuscitated him or something. Stupid me didn't realize that he died like at 10 p.m. and it was 2 a.m. Just hoping and praying. But almost as soon as that happened, I started to get a certain scent that would come through that I've come to realize that is my father. And it has come through and I bring it up to people and suddenly they smell it also. And it's just something that it just resonated with me immediately. But I'll also tell you something that came through. Like I said, he was at this rehabilitation center and you said your dad passed away peacefully. I have images of him asking for help and the people at the desk at this rehabilitation center were all just sitting around because it was a night crew and they're just laughing, having a good time, not paying attention as they should be to the calls coming in. Like it could have been avoided. It could have been avoided is what I feel. Now, trust me, I didn't go there and be like, hey, this is my vision. You guys, killed my dad. It was just more for myself. It's like, this is what I felt. And it's always been in the back of my mind. And what also cemented that is we went to a memorial service at this center because they also had a chapel. And part of one of the prayers was, and we do not hold such and such place responsible for the death of our, I'm like, wow, that's really part of the prayer. Are you kidding me? It was just surreal that I'm like, I stopped talking, but it didn't matter. We weren't ever going to go after them, but it's just like the back of our minds were like, we think that it was just not people taking very good care of their patients there.
That's the sad part. These places like that, they just don't care.
No.
They don't get paid enough to care.
Mm. That is true also. As much as and that's not there's a lot of people who are not getting paid much, and they give a big damn about everybody. I'm not trying to say that, but there are some that because there are some, as we know, and we've been watching over the last couple of years. There's people who are working their asses off in this field to do the best that they can, and they're not given what the tools or the money to do their jobs the way that they want to. I mean, that goes for the education profession also.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. I had teachers that just did not care one bit about their students, and I had teachers that I had a first grade teacher who was older, and I'm dyslexic, and she stayed after school every day for an hour with me and worked with me for the entire school year to teach me to read and write the right way.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big impact on your life. Massive.
Absolutely. She was a huge influence on me. And then I had a senior English teacher who just showed us, sorry, my daughter's heating up her dinner. It's Kayla.
I know, she can wait.
Yeah, this is the one that turned 19 yesterday.
Did you say birthday? Wait, it's food.
And look, this is her tattoo from my dad. You can see it. I can't really
stand up that high, Dad.
He's gonna break your arm, put it in the screen. Yeah, let me break that arm.
It's not.
But yeah, fishing was my dad's thing.
That's his life. It was everything. Yeah.
Fishing and woodworking. He loved making toys out of wood for children.
Sounds like an amazing person, Tim. Sounds like an absolutely amazing person.
There you go. That's from a nurse right there.
I can absolutely believe that.
I do too.
It's I mean, medical is a $1 billion industry.
She hates you, Ernie. She doesn't hate people. She hates you.
Then you're classifying Ernie as a person, first of all, Howard. So that's your first mistake with that argument.
Yeah, Ernie is a biscuit.
I can tell you firsthand. Well, I'm kind of the 13th dimension conspiracy nut, and one of them that I bought into was, I always say with any good conspiracy, if you follow the money, you'll find the truth.
Mm-hmm.
If you think back prior to COVID, we had 5 major flus that were going to kill half the world's population.
Mm-hmm.
You had SARS, bird flu, swine flu, H1N1, H1N5, right?
Yep.
The only known cure for all 5 of these was Tamiflu. Now, when did those 5 flus take place? During the Bush administration.
Yep.
Dick Cheney is vice president of the Bush administration, was vice president.
Yep.
He also owns 50% of the company that makes Tamiflu. I'm just saying. You follow the money, you'll find the stink.
So let me ask you this, Tim. Taking medical out of it, what is your favorite conspiracy?
My favorite conspiracy is the Bigfoot conspiracy, the West Coast logging industry conspiracy.
Okay.
Because when the spotted owl was found in upstate Washington, the West Coast logging industry almost went bankrupt overnight. If this creature is said to exist in the Pacific Northwest, the West Coast logging industry would have to stop their logging to protect that animal's rights in that area.
That's coming from your wife.
Yes, she knows I'm a conspiracy nut. She knows. But that's my favorite conspiracy because you follow the money. It's one that leads directly into the money.
I used to dress up as Bigfoot and just walk through the woods just to piss people off. And then I saw a comment that someone was in the woods and they said they saw a fat Bigfoot one weekend and it just crushed me. So I stopped doing it. So
see, if I went out and walked barefoot through the woods, everybody would think they found Bigfoot.
They'd be like, why does Bigfoot have no hair on his head? That's what they would
Yeah,
be saying.
yeah. That's why I call myself the rare balded Sasquatch. Greg knows I'm fairly tall. I'm 6'3".
Yeah.
I'm fairly broad-shouldered, big guy. But I wear a size 15 shoe. So I've got really long feet. So everybody would say, "Oh my God, look at the size of these footprints." And I agree with you. I absolutely believe that Bigfoot is real. I've never seen a Bigfoot. I have no proof of it, but I absolutely believe
I've seen it.
when you have something.
I was married to it.
when you have something that dates back to prehistoric times, those people had no reason to say that this existed because they weren't going to get famous for it. They weren't going to get any kind of claim to fame from it. They had profit to gain from saying that it existed. And yet they're still saying it existed. You look at Magellan, right? He was what, late 1600s, mid to late 1600s when he sailed around the world. He reported lights in the sky, odd, strange light anomalies in the sky that were flying, hovering over a ship, and zooming off.
Can I just say real fast?
He could have been institutionalized for that.
To Don's comment, I don't think JFK is a Bigfoot. So hopefully that answers her question.
JFK is an interesting conspiracy, but the problem is finding the real money trail from JFK. He wanted to. There's two different ways to really track that down. He was after the mafia. He really wanted to track down the mafia, and he wanted to end the Vietnam War.
I believe the CIA hired him.
If there's one thing that this country has shown us is it tends to get richer during a wartime.
Oh, absolutely, it does. That's the whole point of wars.
People make money off of war.
Yes, exactly. Now, I had somebody on one of my shows. I actually did not air it, one of my radio shows, because it just was getting a little out there a little bit. And I can explain why I made that decision. But the thing is like the talk about JFK went back to the 1920s banking that had something to do with. I mean, it started there. I also heard like Nick Redfern. Has anyone ever, who Nick Redfern is, right? With UFOs and stuff. He wrote that book recently about Marilyn Monroe and about what she knew, the secret diary and whatnot, and the UFO and the conspiracy of possible aliens was also another reason why a lot of people thought that JFK was knocked off. Because he wanted to be transparent about it. I'm only throwing it out. I don't know what to think. I don't know anything about anything to even have an opinion about that, or even Bigfoot for that matter, because who am I to say something doesn't or does exist? Because all I can do is just enjoy the ride, and maybe someday we'll know one way or the other.
I just think there's too many sightings, too many things for it to not exist.
Right.
And that go back hundreds and thousands of years. So I mean, when you look at something like that, it's like, okay, you take Bigfoot versus Loch Ness. Okay, Loch Ness has like 3-4 sightings a year.
Yeah.
This Lake Champlain lake monster, right? Same thing, 3, 4, 5 sightings in an entire year. Bigfoot has hundreds of sightings in almost every continent of the world.
So does UFOs.
What's that, Howard?
Every year.
So does UFOs.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's it. So I don't know if you guys know Robert Robinson. He does a legend tripping that's what his brand is, and he works with the likes of like Lauren Coleman and Lyle Blackburn and folks like that. And I'm sure this is all something you all know, but I didn't really think about it. We interviewed him for something, and he had mentioned that, you know, he had asked some people why, if there are Sasquatches and stuff, why do we not at least find bodies? And then he had some sort of forest group that had like some dead carcasses and stuff that they found, and he just left it out. And then like a couple days later, it was completely wiped clean. There was nothing there. And he's like, well, what happened to all these? And they said, nature. You know, when you have a dead body of any kind, there's going to be critters all over the place that are going to come out and feed on it. They're going to come out and they're just going to feast on this, and it's going to make short work of these corpses. You know, that's what
they got bones or something. Something's got to be left. I mean, even if it's fluids or something's got to be there.
Well, see, I've always wondered if, you know, their bodies, although they say it's the missing link between ape and man or whatever, maybe their bodies are made up of a different composition. Maybe their bones are made up of a different composition, so it decomposes faster.
Yeah.
Maybe they have intelligence and they bury their bodies.
I think it would be sturdier bones because it's such they have a large, you know.
Or like Denise said, maybe it's a spiritual being.
That's a big one right there. You know,
or maybe, you know, I've even heard the Bigfoot UFO conspiracy.
The connection there, right?
Right.
I wonder if
there's a million reasons why we aren't finding bodies.
I wonder if the UFO people, the aliens, like if the aliens are probing, you know, the Bigfoots, like anal probing Bigfoots.
Definitely. Why wouldn't they?
I mean,
they might be furries. They might be into furries. I don't know. I mean, that's
because I've heard that same theory. I mean, that's what I've always heard. I mean, that when you see a Bigfoot or UFO, usually there's a Bigfoot somewhere around.
So what about this, you two? I mean, because I've heard this too from a couple of people, and I know like a couple of people at the Minnesota Bigfoot research team, and they're part of the what's that, the BRO and
BRFO.
BRFO, and they talk
BFRO.
BFRO.
I'm sorry.
BIRO. I don't know.
Bigfoot Research Organization.
Bigfoot Research Organization. And they had talked about a couple things. One, when a Bigfoot might feel like they're in danger, that there is a pulse. That's what I was saying, furry fetish. When there's a pulse, they send out a pulse to kind of, you know, demobilize someone that's near them. I've had a couple people say that to me. I don't know if you two have ever heard that, but also, and Denise, maybe you know this, their thoughts come into your head. Like they will speak to you by just putting their thoughts in your head, and you'll hear the English and stuff.
There you go.
Yeah. George Lucas. George Lucas looks kind of like a Bigfoot, but just more of a smaller one. A small Bigfoot.
I'm just a big bald Bigfoot.
Just like Jeremy York used to look like that. He shaved all his face and everything, but he used to look like a Wookiee.
Well, you know. But he can grow it back real fast. Like I said, this took me like 40 years to grow, so I can't.
I just shaved all the rest of the beard off for a job interview that I had, and so I wanted to look a little cleaner and neater. But it was all as long as my goatee.
Oh, was it? It has been a while since I've seen
it. And it would take me 2 weeks to grow that back out.
Has any psychics out there or any mediums or any have ever tried to connect with a Bigfoot?
And I'm also interested. Denise had mentioned that they have photos, and that would be interesting.
I mean, just reaching out, you know, just going into their mind and you know, their mindset. Just see what they are. Because Ernie keeps saying they're not animals. Well, I agree with Ernie because I was married to them for 2 years, so I know that's fact. So I mean, I can go with Denise, and she has. Okay, so Denise has actually connected with one. I've got to get with Denise, and we've got to have on here.
I know. I'm dying to get down there to Southern Indiana and go Bigfoot hunting with Ernie and Denise. I'm just trying to wait till it warms up a little bit.
So he had did also.
Chris Garcia did also. Also,
I had him on the show already. I don't think he talked about that.
no, he didn't. I was watching your show. Also, I'm hoping to go down to Florida to go because that's where Robert Robinson is, and he goes out there quite a bit. And just, I mean, I don't know if you all heard those different recordings of like the yells of those creatures.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
that is so interesting to me.
They call it skunk gates
Or
now.
you have that. You have the hundreds of thousands of castings that have been made.
Yes.
You've got the hundreds of thousands of hair samples that have been found, tested, and do not match the DNA of any known animal.
Including scat samples too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we have there's three things there that are happening, and yet, well, we don't have a body, so therefore it doesn't exist.
And what pisses me off is that there's people out there that want to do a kill to show that the Bigfoot species
Exactly.
exists, and
Exactly.
I don't want that.
The way I see it is,
I've seen you,
it's
Ernie.
not
You don't
bothering
get
me.
it.
I'm not gonna bother it.
No,
I want to go out and see what my thing is. I would love to sit down and have a conversation with a Bigfoot. I would.
That's what I'd like to see.
If that was possible, if that was possible at all, that would be my ultimate goal. I don't want to hurt it. I don't want to trap it.
No,
I don't even have to take a photo of it.
I would also really love to. It's going away from Bigfoot, but for me, it would be aliens, and to just kind of talk a little bit about this thing. A couple of you had been on my show, I know some of you have watched when we did a night trying to reach out to aliens, not spirits, through this. And the responses that came through, I'm not going to say was like, yes, I'm, Beetlejuice from the planet, whatever, but we were getting sounds and responses that we've never heard through here before. Just chirping and scratching and asking questions like, are you actually embedded in my neighborhood? I literally asked, are any of you in my neighborhood? And the response I got was yes.
Of course.
And that I can reveal that is me. No, but still, it was.
What's your ovulus been saying? I noticed there's new words on there.
I think the ghosts are bored with me because nothing's gone off here for a while. They're just like, screw this, I
just thought that there were new words that had popped up.
It's like with UFOs. I believe that's all interdimensional beings, or possibly interdimensional time travelers even.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they might have had real aliens from a distant planet, might have came here, but it's not like a regular basis, as much as we've seen them today. I mean, you see them at every part of the world. Is UFO sightings everywhere, especially with Russia. Russia declassified all their stuff. And man, the stuff that they have to say.
Let me ask something real fast because Denise sent me a photo. Denise, can I share this? Do you mind if I share this photo of what they have taken that is of Bigfoot? Denise, can I share that, please? I just wasn't sure if I can share that or not.
Just go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Let's see if I can do that on my end here. Give me 1 second. Denise has been the one making my shows worthwhile because she's been sharing stuff that, that looks actually good and actually keeps people watching me. Here we go.
Let's see.
There we go. The eye shine is what the two eyes.
Yeah, I see it. And they're yellow too, so that's. Well, if it's not because usually an animal has yellow eyes, or it's the reflective cone. It's almost like a cat, or how you
a cat. Yes,
right.
The reflective. Yes, that's interesting, Howard. That's a good point.
And if you look around the eyes, you can almost see a shape.
You can see a face, almost a face shape.
Howard, are you able to get rid of us and make the picture bigger by chance?
Yeah. Let's see. Is it going to be me?
Oh yeah, that's a scary animal.
No, that's scary shit right there. Let's see. There we go.
You can almost make out the outline of a shape,
Yeah.
of a head shape.
So my next question for Denise is, what do you do to get these photos?
Oh wow.
You weren't actually supposed to cut back until I was done pouring my drink.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. What? No, I'm done now. What do you do to get these photos? Because Denise and Ernie sent us photos on Sunday of Sarah and her murder, which were chilling to the bone. I mean, I'm thinking the reason why these pictures are coming through is because of Denise. Denise, would I be wrong saying?
It's about 12 to 14 feet tall.
Christ.
That's big.
That's almost big as you, Tim.
That's big. That's bigger than
Almost.
me. That's bigger than me. I can tell you with my arm all the way extended, I can touch 8.5 feet.
By about 3 inches, maybe, right?
Oh no. That's more than double my height. I'm 6'3". So
He said they talked to her.
yeah.
They talk.
She said they asked them if they can photograph them, and Ernie said that was self-illuminated, not a reflection.
Wow.
So let me ask
that's
you this.
more interesting to me than the.
Exactly. So Ernie, are you saying that you saw this as well, not only through the picture, but you saw it live? You saw the eyes light up just being there. Is that what I'm understanding then?
That's what happens. She robbed them with biscuits.
Ernie said yes.
Yes.
She said we see it live all the time. And I they've invited me to come with them, and I am going to make that happen.
You know, they never invited me, and I'm pissed. So I might probably get off this show now.
They know I'm a big Bigfoot enthusiast. They know I'm a believer in it, and that I've never really gone hunting for them. I've seen some very strange things in the woods. Everybody knows that I'm an active hunter and fisherman, and I'm constantly out in nature, and I do a lot of nature hikes. One of our favorite things for Crystal and I to do is go walnut collecting. We'll go out and collect walnuts and have those around wintertime after they fall. We'll dry them out and have walnuts to eat.
I think Jeremy should leave thickness out of this conversation, to be honest.
Yes.
It's disgusting what gets on the show sometimes.
Thicknesses.
So that's pretty. So Denise, and I know that Denise is like talking to us through chat. What is Denise? What are they saying to you? Just out of curiosity, I'm just curious about that because it's so fascinating and it's so cool that they clearly. I mean, there's so many spirits, so many entities that clearly are so comfortable with you. I'm curious.
I don't know who's coming through his Things Network. I don't dig through it, but I will look at scat all the time because normally, like the normal animals around here, I know what their scat looks like. So I can distinguish deer scat, raccoon scat, possum scat, coyote scat. And I'm a very well known. It's very well known that I'm a tracker. I go out and track animals. We had a little girl that disappeared in our neighborhood one time. She woke up before her parents did. They didn't lock the front door. A 4-year-old girl, barefoot in the snow, and she just took off. And I helped them find her by tracking her footprints through the snow where she went. So that's just one of the things I'm good at. I'm able to track a lot of different things.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Being a hunter, it's a useful skill.
No, absolutely. When it's 50 degrees out, it's too cold, and I go back in the house. That's
He'll go to it and he'll pick it up and smell it, and lick it, taste it. He'll put it back down and say that was scat.
Yep, that's Bigfoot. That's Bigfoot right there. That tastes like him. So here's the interesting thing. I would love to be on an expedition, Tim, with you, Denise, and Ernie, because with Denise's abilities to and relationship, like I said before, clearly they can see her kindness, they can see her pureness, and your tracking skills. I think that would be pretty amazing.
Yeah, I think it would be a lot of fun. I can't wait to get down there and go with them. Like I said, if they are in an area where there's one known, there's a lot of woods around my area, but it's very well explored. We have my area is known for hunters, especially my county. Last year, 2 years ago, the second largest buck in history was killed in my county.
Oh, wow.
Cabela's paid the man and had a full mount done, and they displayed it at the Cabela headquarters.
Now, let's just be clear about one thing. If I look on Facebook and there are pictures of the three of you having this and you didn't invite me, you will all get a hex. Okay?
Hey,
throw it out there right now.
We'll set it up.
I'm not a vindictive person, Tim, but I'm a vindictive person. So
you come to Indiana and I will treat you, my friend. I'll get you one of them big tenderloins and we'll go down and hunt Bigfoot.
I'm in. I would love to do that. I would absolutely love to do this.
And Denise, I saw that you were going to Indianapolis. If you're going on 65, there's a town about an hour south of Indy called Edinburgh. Stop off there, go to the Edinburgh Diner, and get you a tenderloin.
Your wife's saying she needs to go bring him to Brown County and
yes.
Watching.
I'll be honest with you guys. I've actually Crystal and I have actually thought about asking them, because we were staying at a cabin down there in Brown County. Brown County is a huge national forest. Brown County State Park and the Hoosier National Forest are both right there.
And Jeremy's saying he has a place he wants to take you, Tim, and it includes a hidden cemetery.
Yeah. Is there already an open grave or something? I mean,
actually, we found a cemetery that was hidden for over 100 years. Nobody that's buried in it is from the 1900s.
Wow.
And it's in the middle of the woods.
Let me ask you this. Does it show like a lot of like overgrowth, or has it been taken care of all over the course?
No. So, the local Boy Scout troop, one of the kids for their Eagle Scout project, actually cleared a path back to it and mowed the grass all down, and it's kept fairly nice now. But it was lost for over 100 years.
Can I tell you all a cemetery story real fast? I'll try to keep it fast. Outside of Deadwood, we went to a cemetery that someone wanted to go to, a small town, not even a town, a collection of like 4 or 5 buildings, including like an old schoolhouse. And I'm out there with my K2, and I'm, how you do sometimes where you're asking spirit question and like light up if this is the right answer. So I'm out in the cemetery. There's no electricity, so it's not, what's coming through here is not electricity from any wires or anything. And suddenly it starts going off, and I'm like, would you, long story short, are you someone that could show me, are you buried here? And it would say, yes, it was. I'm like, well, I'm going to point this, one direction or another, light up if I'm going the right direction. So it would light up when it go to a certain direction. So I'd follow it, then I would turn it, and it would like go, and the whole thing of like, am I on the right path? And it would say yes or whatever. And then it was suddenly just felt like, are we here? And it's lit up, yes. And I said, can I take a picture? Will you appear in the picture? And it said yes. And I took a picture, and it was just a bushes. There wasn't anything there. I took a picture, and I took 3 of them at least. And I get back into the car, we're driving away, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to look at this. And I look at the pictures, and there's nothing there. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because it said it would let me take a picture. I'm like, okay, well, that's how it works. And then I looked, and I'm like, there's something under the bush. And I take my phone and I make it bigger, and I look, and under the bush, there is a cemetery marker. Someone's grave is there.
Yeah.
And they had been probably forgotten, because during my questioning, I found out that they were a Union soldier during the Civil War, and I didn't see the grave when I was there. I didn't notice it. It was only when I looked at the picture and I magnified it, I saw that there is a grave there that has probably been unseen for years. I wouldn't say how many. I don't want to put a number to it because who knows. But it was like, yeah, you gave me the picture. You showed it to me. And that was pretty incredible to me.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Gary, I've never tried that line of questioning. We have a place not far from here that claims to have an unmarked cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
Next time I'm there, I'm going to try that. I think that would be an interesting way to communicate.
I didn't really have anyone with me. I just was asking, you know, they're all doing their own thing in the cemetery. I just asked the questions and it just led me to where I needed to go. In Deadwood, not this trip, the last trip, we were in the Bullock Hotel. And the Bullock is, you know, Seth Bullock, who everyone thinks is the savior of Deadwood. But we don't see it that way, us and the investigators who went out there, because we see that he actually held the town with an iron grip. And every time we go out there, he's not what we think he is. And we just set up a poker table. And what we would do is we'd have a bunch of K2s around and a bunch of cards, and we played poker with spirits. Literally, I had the cards, and I'd be like, light up the K2 if you want another card, you know, and it literally would do that. We played poker, and we have it on video, we have it audio. We played poker with them for a couple hours that night, where literally it's like, do you want to hold? Do you want to hold? Nothing would happen. Do you want another card? And then it would light up. And we just played that way the whole night. It was absolutely incredible.
That would be an interesting thing to try at another location, because we've played cards at the location, because at the old Lake County Jail at Crown Point, Indiana. You guys did a live for us once while we were there. You guys hosted a live for us once. And they had like all the cells down this block had a big one huge cell at the end that had tables set up in the middle, and that was their common area. So these prisoners got to go down to this other cell and get locked in a common area. And they would sit in there, play cards, smoke cigarettes, whatever. So we've tried to lay cigarettes around in there, and we've tried playing cards in there. We haven't had much activity happen while that's going on, though. So it'd be interesting to just set up an empty hand.
Yep. We had 3 empty hands, and they all played. They played that night. So it's like, and it wasn't like, it didn't feel random. It felt real. And that was pretty incredible, actually.
Yeah.
And I saw someone mention Tombstone, and I was out there with actually Ane a couple of years back. And once again, if anyone has a chance to go out to Tombstone for any reason, we were at the Birdcage. We're also at China Mary's. My God, that place. We sat there and we watched the tour guide in the Birdcage. She was talking, and her bow that she held her dress together with, we watched it untie itself. And it was like she stopped, and she's like, what happened? And we're just like, it untied itself. She's like, did I catch myself on something? It's like, no, honey, you didn't. We actually watched a bow untie itself.
That's crazy.
And it was crazy. That was also the night that we were hearing, and that's the funny thing. You both will totally understand. Everyone watching will totally understand, because we're all really seasoned paranormal investigators. No matter where you go, you're always paying attention, even when you don't realize it. You're always paying attention to the sounds around you. You're always paying attention to, like, you hear like that. What's that? You know, and whatever. So
I've noticed something with myself, that when I have that, when I'm in an investigation, my peripheral vision seems to widen.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always thought that was funny. That the best I see out of my peripheral is when I'm doing a paranormal investigation.
But I challenge you that it's not just the investigations. That is something you kind of keep now with you all the time, because like I was at a restaurant with someone once and I just heard something and immediately I'm just like this. And
Hey, Rose.
she's just like, is that the paranormal investigator? Oh yeah, we're all experts. I do apologize. So, you know, you're absolutely right.
Hi, Rosie.
Yeah, Rosie, we miss you on here.
Now I can see Linda. Hey, how you doing? Now I can see Linda. She's asking for some.
Linda also said that
Wait, it was up here. Yeah, I see where she had one up here.
was there a house in the background? Must be an old Victorian house with the eyes looking out of the porch area. Well, you don't ask me because that's not my picture. But I don't think it was a house behind.
It was hard to read the comments when it had a big screen.
Yeah.
But I was going to say we were at the bird cage and everyone was kind of going about their business, and I heard voices and that weren't part of like the tour, and I raised my hand like a good boy because it was just like I don't normally do tours. You know, I just like to go in and investigate. I don't do the tours sort of thing.
Right.
And I was kind of told, like, just go and, just enjoy yourself. Don't worry.
I got the picture back. I'll go back to the picture if they want to go back to the picture.
And I mean, I could send you the picture, Howard, if you want to import it into StreamYard and put it up there. But I mean, I don't see anything that's in behind it that Denise could say. I don't think there's a house behind. They're in the woods. That was the point of where she was.
You get the same thing I'd see. I mean, I don't see.
But real fast, I was hearing voices. We were both hearing voices. And I raised my hand. I'm like, can you hear voices outside of the bird cage if there's people right outside? And she said, no. And so it's like people weren't paying attention, but we were hearing disembodied voices for about 5 minutes. And it's really interesting. Like, what is that? Is that residual energy, or is that new conversations happening about us or about seeing us or something? And that's what we live for, and they're only being ignored by everybody, sadly.
Rosie wants to know if that was night vision.
That'd be interesting. That's a good question. It doesn't look like night vision to me, because if it was night vision, I think more would be exposed, right?
It'd be either red or green.
It depends on how far back it is.
That's true too. And what the depth of the night vision
because you can see that the trees closer to it are very well shot. The trees further back are a little blurrier, and the eyes are even further back into the woods.
Yeah, Ernie, you have a lot to answer for.
Sorry, Ernie.
Yeah, Ernie, what's going on here, Ernie? No,
it almost looks like, and Ernie, don't get excited about this, but it looks like almost 2 packs of butter.
I knew you were going to say that.
Doesn't it? It looks like the 2 little packs of butter.
Howard and I are sharing the brain again. I knew exactly what he was going to say.
This might have been what happened. They might have put it, just zoomed back there and just took a quick picture of it.
The thing that's interesting to me is you can see the one branch blocks off part of the one eye. If you're looking directly at the eyes, the eye to the left on my screen, the one branch actually blocks off part of it. It's almost like his head is slightly turned, because you can see how the other eye tapers in roundness and this eye squares off at the branch.
Ernie, did it make any sounds? Like, I know you said you could hear it coming. Did it make any actual like voice or a sound or anything like that? It's interesting. I love it. I love the picture. I love the picture so much.
Nick, we're looking at Bigfoot. It's a picture that Ernie and Denise took while Bigfoot hunting.
And Tracy thinks that it's an owl.
Owls are very reflective eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know. I don't know anything about wildlife. I stay
owls
away from it the best I can.
Owls.
No vocalization.
I will say this: owls in the southern part of Indiana they're not that uncommon, but they're not that common deep in the woods, especially at night.
If
at night, that owl would be in a field. It'd be overlooking the field.
Yeah, that's what Rosie said. Same thing.
Yeah, they heard it coming. She said so. That's where I'm thinking that it's clearly because I think Denise and Ernie would know, like, it's not, if they didn't hear it coming, maybe it would be open to something, but they said that they heard it coming.
Yeah, what if you say it's a Bigfoot? What if you say it's the Mothman?
Yeah.
That is in Kentucky.
No, I don't think the Mothman's been spotted near there. I think they're in southern
Not that
Indiana.
area. Not that area. Isn't Mothman more east?
Well, the most recent reportings of Mothman have been up around Chicago.
Yeah, no, I've
By
heard
the
that.
Chicago
too.
airport.
Yeah,
He's staying over at Nick Mulay's house on the weekends and shit. So I know that's happening.
Well, when I was in Chicago, I asked to hang out with Nick, and he said he was busy with Mothman. So I don't know what that meant.
West Virginia.
He just probably didn't want to hang out with me. That's fair.
And no, Linda Judd, owl's eyes would not be able to self-glow. So
They're not
that
reflective?
would tell me right there that it would not be an owl. You're doing better than me. I'll be passed out at that time.
It's interesting. Tim had said, I see that Tim's saying that after my experience with Bigfoot, I always believe that he's a negative entity and not a flesh and blood animal. That's interesting. I mean, once again, who am I to say one way or the other?
Nick can tell you right there.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that would make more sense, Nick.
Yeah, because he sleeps over at Nick's house on the weekends. I'm telling you, Mothman crashes there, and then he does his shit during Monday through Friday.
Ernie, that's why everybody hesitates to post evidence.
I invited Nick and Mothman to Pequods, and neither of them showed up. But Ane has had an experience that could have been a Bigfoot. Her and her mom. That's for her to tell, but I know that for a fact, which is a very interesting story. And Robert Robinson, who I'd mentioned earlier, he certainly, after what she had said in her story, and he's somebody who's done it for 100 years, who's easily be like, no, that's this, that's that. He's just like, yeah, that very well could be something interesting. I asked hey, don't turn this against me. I'm trying to, you know what? This is becoming a horrible show. You know what? I don't need this.
Rosie knows. See that? I think that they might have been. She might be moved up that way. I don't know.
That's why I started laughing. Yeah. Yeah. The truth is, just like with the paranormal, there is no expert. In my opinion,
no,
we're all trying to find these unexplained things, and the truth is, there is no explanation for it. We're doing our best, but there's no explanation for it yet.
My favorite, and I know that orbs is something that's hotly contested. Whoop, there goes the
ball. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's get this back down and maybe see something like me.
Maybe that's
going on the table.
So, when it comes to like orbs, for example, I read someone say once, it's a known fact that two orbs cannot appear in a picture at the same time. Now, I know that a lot of us don't necessarily believe in orbs or anything, but once you start putting containers on something, once you start putting rules to something in the paranormal, I think you lose. I don't want to hear you anymore, because I come from the school of thought that I think anything is possible. And I'm not going to put a container on something.
I'll be honest with you, Greg. For years, I was that guy that put limitations on.
How do I turn this shit off? Let me get out of here. No, go ahead.
But the truth is, for years, I was that guy. Psychics. I didn't believe in it. I didn't believe in anything. And the more I have opened myself up, and the more I have said, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore, the better evidence I've gotten.
Absolutely. And I'll take it a step in the same direction of I I would prefer to always investigate with a medium, because the validation side of it alone is absolutely just so amazing. And I say that on both sides, because mediums also love to hear maybe the equipment validate what they're hearing, and vice versa. And there is something that is so much fun, that when you can collaborate together and come to a same sort of, maybe piece the story together a little bit better, because those individuals make the whole thing stronger.
Ane, I'm sorry. I grew up listening to D.L. Moore sing that song on TV, and I just thought it was a big sham. It's the truth. But as I got to know people, and as I got readings from people, I've completely changed my mind about it.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing that I find interesting, Tim, is that you didn't have to say any of that, but you did. And therefore, in my mind, it's like I'm always enjoy people who are just able to be like, yeah, I was this way, but now I'm this way. That we grow as investigators, we grow as people, and that
you live and you learn.
That's exactly it. And I could spend the next 4 hours talking about different ways I've thought about stuff, and I've changed my way of thinking. You might have been this way, but now you're this way. And if you didn't say that to me, Tim, I would have never known. I would have never known, because you come across as somebody who is so, that you're so enlightened, that you're so open to everything, which is really, with your character, actually.
Crystal started to explore chakras.
Well, her name is Crystal.
I was kind of hokey, kind of hesitant with that. I went out and did a chakra meditation with her in this beautiful nature spot. It's called Hanging Rock. There's not really any hills or mountains in Indiana in the part that we live in, but there's this big, huge rock outcrop where you can actually see different layers going up it from the bottom of prehistoric time. And it's been scientifically explored and all that. But as I sat up on the top of this rock, overlooking this river and overlooking all these farm fields and forest trees and stuff, we did a chakra meditation up there. And I have, in 20 years of marriage, I've never been more at peace. Never. Than her and I doing that together. And I took it seriously. I didn't want to cheat myself or cheat it. Now it's something I believe in wholeheartedly. So, it's one of those things where I'm kind of that guy that has to be proven wrong. But on the same hand, I've learned to open myself up to new experiences in life and enjoy them and enjoy the benefits from them more than not, more than close myself off and just instantly deny it.
Do you ever call in energy, Tim? Do you ever just say, call in your archangels and say that this is, I need healing, I need this, I need that? Have you ever done that?
I have a few times. I would say more, I pray a lot.
Yeah, same thing.
I was raised in a Christian home. Like I said, my father was a minister.
Yeah.
So I pray a lot, and I've studied the Bible quite a bit.
Yeah.
I believe you don't have to be. I've also studied. The Jewish faith. I've studied Muslim faith. I've studied Buddhism. I've studied Hinduism. So I've learned a lot of different perspectives from different areas of the world, because I didn't want to say I'm right just because I was born here, and just because I was taught this way.
I take
I've never made my own thing.
I take offense to that. I just don't feel good right now. That's why this is sounding like a regular paranormal discussion. Now, I do take offense to that. Wait till next week, and then we'll be back to normal.
I bring balance to the force with this show. See, I bring spirit with me.
Yeah.
So also, Moni had said about asking about sense, and I know that Rosie had answered. And may I just say from personal experience, If I'm not mistaken, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, because I always get my clairs mixed up. I believe I'm clairaudience, which I believe is sense. That's my gift. That's something that I always pick up on in investigations, are the sense of things. Like I said earlier, my dad immediately, as I left my parents' house after he passed and went to my work to get my computer and stuff because I wasn't going to be there for a while, I got a scent from him. And I'll go to places and I always pick up stuff. The smell of lavender had been with me for about 2 weeks, a calming sense, because I was going through some stuff. So, I personally believe that, yet absolutely you're picking up sense of spirit, depending on what it is and what they want you to pick up on, I think.
Now, I will say this. I've had one paranormal scent thing happen to me and I had other investigators with me that were able to validate it. We were at Crown Point Jail for the very first time ever. And they were
talking
Tim,
about, where were you? Where were you, Tim?
At the Old Lake County Jail in Crown Point.
Got it.
There's a heavy door that goes between the kitchen area and the hallway. And that door was shut that night that we were there. And it was my first time there. And someone had said, yeah, on the other side of that door is a kitchen. And I went over there and I could smell food. You could smell food coming right by the door. Like someone was in there cooking a meal. And I'm like, is there food over there? Is somebody cooking? I'm hungry. And they're like, no, there's no food over there. And I'm like, come here, you can smell food. And I believe it was it Tim Cummer that was with us?
There's one of them there.
Yeah, he was one of them that was with us that night. And he walked over there and he could smell it too. And we went around to the kitchen, no food. You couldn't even smell food in the kitchen.
Might have been when we were with Ricky.
Yeah, it may have been when we were with Ricky Hellard. I think Ricky was with us then.
Yeah.
And you could smell food right by that door, but straight in front of it is a bathroom. And then I believe, and then on the other side of that wall is the kitchen. But we walked around and went into the kitchen, and there's no food, and it doesn't smell like food. But right by that door, it smelled like food, which we were talking about, supposedly a spirit of a Hispanic man who used to be the cook there. And then I smelled food right by that door.
And thank you, Rosie. Clairsentient. Thank you so much. That makes a lot more sense. Oh, see, here's the thing. Okay, thank you, Linda. I looked it up. I couldn't get something straight, so I don't know, because clairsalience is sense of smell. Clairsentience is a sense of feeling. See, I had thought it was sentience, and then I looked it up, and it said audience of the crappy site I went to. So I don't know. I smell things. Okay, put that. Now, also somebody had talked about the bread.
Oh, I had that happen too, Denise.
The bread at Waverly.
Yeah.
That seems to be like Dawn. I think I saw Dawn say that she had
Hey,
that.
Dawn said that, the bread at Waverly.
Very common.
I forgot about that. Yeah, so I guess I've had it happen twice.
Wow.
Rosie admits she wrong. She wrong.
Rosie, I was wrong too. Even worse than yours. And I thought it was sentient. And then I looked up. I thought it was audience. So I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And Spirit isn't here to back me up at the table. That's a bummer. So
It's Wednesday. It's not Sunday.
no, that's not me.
Wednesday.
That's not me then. Empathy, no, that's not me. So
I tell everybody, I really do not have an empathic bone in my body. I don't know if I'm closed off to it or I just don't have that ability.
I'm sorry. I refuse to believe that, Tim. And Howard said the same thing before. I've heard you say it. I do not.
Well,
believe
I don't have that. No.
Bullshit. You both have it. You just haven't tapped into it yet. I don't care what.
And that may be. Maybe I'm just too closed off for it.
You'll get there if you need to get there.
My psychic ability is when I get hungry and I go to the refrigerator and my stomach tells me, let's eat.
That's Claire hungry.
I've had that.
Have you heard of that one?
I've had that goose pimple effect, and I've had that hair stand up on the back of my neck, and I've had that flight or fight response.
You are one of those. See, look at the ball tells you that you're clairvoyant.
My ball's telling me the same thing right now too. It's telling me no, it's not. It's not happening.
You two are classic examples. Look at that thing go up. You two are classic examples. What I run into all the time of, yeah, I've never had an experience or anything, except for the following 50 times. You know, it's just like,
I've had experiences. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I see it all the time.
As far as like having an inner voice or something like that, it just doesn't happen for me.
That doesn't mean that you don't have it. That's the thing. We all have something. That doesn't mean that we get the full package. We might be just getting a little bits and pieces, but we still have something.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've had instances where I've had, you know, like I said, the hair stand up on my arm or something, you know, and maybe that's that. And you know, Crystal's a lot more opened up and empathic than I am. I will say that.
He's hugely empathic. Yes.
Yeah, and my daughter has proven to me that she has gifts.
There it is.
She actually invented her own experiment where she went blind into a house, and myself and Jeremy, I was in front of her and she put her hands up on my shoulders, and Jeremy was behind her and put his hands up on her shoulders. And we tried to confuse her, guiding her through this house blindly. And she was able to detect where we were. And then secondly, we told her no information about the old Lake County jail. And she went through room by or, you know, area by area by area and accurately told us exactly what that area was used for with no information.
I think sometimes those abilities are brought down from generation to generation, you know, and I think the more, I mean, obviously Crystal has a huge part of that, right? But I think the more someone says, I do not have these abilities, the more that they're not going to come out. You have to, I mean, it depends on, and I'm just saying, it depends on what you want. I mean, maybe you don't want to be able to have these things. A lot of people have them and they kind of just shut them down. But if you are interested in them, you got to start thinking more of the positive of it, of, yeah, you know what, I might have these. Why don't I figure it out? You know, because more and more for me, things have been coming through, and it's been enlightening. I mean, getting into the paranormal has been the greatest thing in my life, because it has opened up my mind to so many concepts, let alone the fact that I feel that have gifts that I never, ever thought I would have. And I've been honing them. There's people in the chat that I personally know who are taking classes. They're honing their gifts, and they are happier than they ever been in their lives. And you know what? That, to me, that says, you know, so many people are looking, you know, shouting in the air, looking, you know, at, you know, possibly evil spirits and stuff. But this is the other side of it that we all embrace, right? Of the positivity. And this is just another aspect of it.
I had to laugh at Ernie's comment. I'm Claire Biscuit.
Yeah.
Which, I agree with you, Greg. I believe that maybe, and it could be this. I'm a huge science nerd.
Mm-hmm.
Huge science nerd. So I have always looked at paranormal investigating from the scientific side of things.
Mm-hmm.
I still go into every investigation as a skeptic believer, as a skeptical believer.
Yeah.
And I try everything I can to debunk anything, because I feel like the definition of paranormal is what's left after you can't define something normally.
Yeah.
So I've always been that science nerd, and maybe that helps close me off to some of the other aspects of it.
That's an interesting thought, Tim. But at the same time, because we've all been around investigators who, you know, there's a wind that comes in, something moves, and they're like, oh my God, something moved. You know, I mean, we need to be skeptical also, right? We need to be able to have that balance of, is this really what we thought, or are we just going to believe anything that happens and try to make a story out of it? And I'm sure you have these examples too of how many times you've gone into investigation. Someone says something, it's like, did you really try to not even debunk it, but think rationally about what has happened?
I've said this before. My favorite investigation ever. This lady said, every time I'm in the shower, someone's walking in my hallway.
That's
And
me.
I went down to her basement.
Actually.
I went down to her basement, and sure enough, her water pipes had no braces on them at all.
Yep.
And I told her to turn on the shower, and she turned on the shower, and the pipe's just banging on the wall. I went to Walmart, got some hangers, put them up, done. There's your ghost. There's your. Well, now it's not happening anymore. Yeah, because you never had your pipes. You know, they were old pipes, and they were never braced to the wall. Or if they were, the braces were gone.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's one of those things where if I can explain it away normally, that's going to make them feel more at ease in their home right away.
Absolutely. Well, and it's another thing too, is I answered this just the other day on someone's post. They're like, what's your biggest pet peeve on a paranormal investigation? And my response was, and I had seen this recently when I went to an event at a place, and we just started, and someone was like, okay, it's time to ask a question. This investigator's first question was, do you want us to leave? Like, what are you doing? No, don't ask that question. The first question, do you want us to leave? If they said yes, in my book, I follow what the spirits want because I respect the spirits, you know. And so you don't ask questions that put you in a position of being like, well, even though we traveled, 4 hours to get here, they said time to leave. Okay, well, I guess we'll pack it all up after spending an hour and a half setting it up. It's like, what is wrong with you? No, I don't want to leave. I don't want to ask those questions. Come on. Tim, are you laughing because you asked those questions when you get into it, when you went to the jail? Is that the first time?
No, I see Nick commenting and Anne commenting, Howard, clairvoyeurism.
Yeah, clairvoyeurism. That's
I'm breaking people's their hotel rooms. I don't give a crap. That's
clear. I don't even know what Nick is. I can't even
Claire Gorilla Glue.
Voyant.
I need to talk to someone more about chakras because I have a question about that at some point in time. But from when I did the meditation, and I really want an answer to it. So if someone's out there, send me a message.
I think there's a lot of people out there right now.
Let me write Shaka Khan. Oh, sorry.
No, this has been a fun show for me because we've gone through all kinds of paranormal stuff and
yeah, we've seen the balls.
A lot of people don't tie conspiracy theories and paranormal, but I do because they're not normal.
Everything. Yeah, we've hit on everything just about tonight.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to show you both that I'm not just a pretty face, that I can, talk about anything. I know they all still think of me as one, but whatever, right? It's the beard.
Well,
you know it.
Like I said, the reason we did the 13th dimension was to cover everything paranormal. We've talked about Bigfoot, we've talked about aliens. I love that stuff.
Yet we did not play any of my spirit box evidence that I provided to Howard. We've been on for over 2 hours. We have not played one thing, but that's okay. That's fine. I will put it on my show, and it will be amazing. And
I've used some of it on another show that we did for a while. Yeah. I love your spirit box evidence.
I
love it.
We're gonna be bringing you back, I believe, on the dish. And I have some dates available for this show here. We can bring you back on this show. We'll talk about that.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm gonna be on the dish on March 3rd, right?
Yes, March 3rd.
Howard's like, yeah, that's right. We said that.
I look at my notes. Let's see, I brought all my stuff with me.
Oh, that's you. You're Greg Bakun. Yeah, you're gonna be on March 3rd.
So let's see, it's 10:08. Let's. I think we've been hit everything, and let's call it into this. We then roasted this pig, kicked it. made hog-head cheese out
But
of it.
what a fun show. We have had a lot of
I had-
audience participation. We thank you all for that. We love reading your comments. We love the interaction with you guys. And
Wow,
it's
that
one of those
happened
shows where the
quick.
conversation just kind of took us where we wanted to go.
Wow, that happened
I
quick.
had so much fun tonight. Thank you all. Thank you both for having me on. Thank you very much. This was so much fun tonight.
This woman, I thought we did we say something that was
Oh, I'm really sorry. We do make a lot of jokes because we like to have fun doing this. And it's fun for us, and we're really sorry if we offended you. We didn't mean to. That was never our intention.
No,
I don't know, no, but I have no idea.
no,
Oh,
we're only joking about the fact that Howard mentioned that he doesn't have any gifts with that. We're all just having fun. But I mean, I honestly I feel like this audience is very respectful to all of.
Oh, you have
everything.
people coming in, and it's every show. I think you'll have a person that come in for one that they want something to be said about what they want you to hear. They want what they want to hear, and it's not for everybody. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. I still have a lot of people out there that watch the show and enjoy it. So I mean, if I have 3 people watching, I'm happy, and that's including me. So I mean,
We've had a lot more than
watching
3
myself.
people in here tonight, and like Christy Ayers said, we can't please everyone, and that's true.
no.
But we love people with abilities on this show. We've had lots of people with abilities on this show. I had one of the best readings I've ever had with Miss Janessa, because she read my energy, not necessarily the spiritual energy around me. She read my energy, and it really made me feel good about myself. So I was really happy with that one.
Can I also say, my friend Shar had, when we did our paranormal class, she played a video from years ago that she was at the Grand House, and they were doing a flashlight session, and someone, because they had tacos, and you know how tacos go through your system, somebody farted, and the spirits through the flashlight session had so much fun with that. And the thing is that you have to have fun doing this. You have to know that spirits are having fun. They don't want to talk about death. They don't want to talk about the serious side. They want to be treated like how we are treating each other. So the thing is, in my opinion, it's sad to see someone who I know that she was asking me what time the show's on tonight, and she tuned in because I posted it. But the thing is, you have to have fun and be lighthearted, because spirits don't want to be reminded that they're dead. They want to be treated like we are treating each other right now. We're all together. We're a community. We're family. We're having fun. So
you get me, Scott, and Jeremy in the same room. We're pulling pranks on each other.
Yep.
And then they pull pranks on us. And the perfect example is that it was my hat. My hat got yanked up on my head. Well, we had been playing pranks on each other all night, and then all of a sudden, my hat gets yanked up. I've got 3 foot above me, no one around. Jeremy saw it happen. And Jeremy, I'm like, they got to pick on me,
Yep.
And sometimes seriousness is called for. Sometimes joking around is called for too.
Absolutely.
And if you can't have fun, you wouldn't want to do it anymore.
And when I do, like when we do Spirit Box at events and stuff, sometimes we're not getting any responses. We'll just talk amongst ourselves. We'll just talk about what we ate for dinner, what we're doing, whatever, and they'll chime in every single time. That's just because we're all just having fun. That's what it comes down to. If we can't enjoy what we're doing, or even have a little bit of mild ribbing, then that's their problem, not ours. Because we know how what we feel. We know the respect, and there's a lot of respect for it. There's nothing more that we can do other than that.
All right, Greg, you want to go ahead and tell us where people can find you? For the people who don't know who you are,
they can find me. They can find me in St. Michael. No, I'm just kidding, of course. I do 2 shows on Things and Pun, both Sundays. Sunday afternoon at 4:06 Central Standard Time. I do Ghost Box Radio. It's through AM 950. Like all these shows, we have great guests on, and we just talk paranormal, ufology, or Bigfoot, whatever, or just the unusual. And then 10 p.m.s Sunday nights, I do Ghost Box Live, which is a live spirit box session that we we just try to reach out to loved ones starting March 1st, Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. I am also going to be doing one that's more experimental sessions, reaching out to historical figures and doing different boxes. I also just signed with Paraflix, and my series that I've been working on for years is starting to get an airing on Paraflix soon, and that's really exciting for me also. So there's a lot of fun things going on right now for me.
Cool. Awesome. And how about Tim in the 13th dimension? Y'all going on hiatus right now, is that correct?
Yeah, we've had some health issues, and Scotty's working nonstop to the point of exhaustion, and Jeremy's having, all the issues he's had. So we're taking a little break for a little while to get healthy and to get back to normal. So 13th Dimension is on a hiatus. I'm not sure if Jeremy's going to do some replay episodes. He hasn't said that to me yet, but I'm hoping that that we can maybe make something like that happen.
Yeah.
Until we're all healthy and feeling better, and we
I know what's coming on before that other show of ours comes on, so I really got to make fun of y'all before y'all. It gives me something to talk about.
But Greg, when we come back off a hiatus, I would love to have you on there and really go through some of your evidence, because I love your spirit box evidence. You have some really great stuff.
Well, thank you.
And stuff. So we'll be in touch with you on that for sure. And then
it looks like Pac-Man's going to be going back in production next Thursday. So there you go. We got Pac-Man. We got stuff happening all over the place.
Oh, awesome, Denise! I can't wait.
Yeah, me too.
Well, you can see by the stellarness of my guest appearance. Hopefully, you'll have me on your show, because I'm amazing. So
you're a great guest. You're always a great guest.
What time
is your great host?
Is that like 9 o'clock? Because if not, you'd be running into the other show. Well, anyway,
what are you talking about?
Because on Thursday nights, that's what I'm getting ready to announce. Tomorrow night, on the Petri dish, we're going to have Daniel Clace that's coming on with the Hinsdale House Restoration Program, and Daniel is very knowledgeable, and we'll probably talk about his the Hinsdale House itself, and try to get some promotions up that way. And the
show, he has a show now.
Oh, does he? That's right. He has a show. That's right. He does have the shows.
We got to meet him at DeadCon. He's a great guy. We love Daniel.
He's amazing. He's a really nice guy.
One of the nicest guys you can meet out there.
Yeah. And then on Holy Trinity, we took a poll, and that's that. Okay, Petri dish is NC-17, whereas the Holy Trinity is NC-17. Should be rated X, but it also has a disclaimer on it. So if you watch it and you hear whatever's going on in it, it's, hey, you stepped in it just like you licked the bottom of your shoe. I don't know. Anyway, we had a poll. We asked y'all, what do y'all want us to talk about? And I picked the top two things to talk about this week is going to be, do spirits watch us while we use the restroom? And do spirits watch us while we have sex? So we're going to be talking about those things this week.
I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, that actually, do spirits watch us while we have sex? That's actually from Scotty Wilson. That was his. That's his brainchild. So I would have added to it myself. I would ask, do they also want to step in and perform with us? I mean, I don't know. But that's the type of shows that we run on.
Howard's trying to swing it.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to be talking about on Friday night at 9. So with that being said, we want to thank y'all for watching tonight. And it was a really great show tonight, I feel. Thank you, Greg, for coming on. It was a really, like Ernie said, it's a real paranormal discussion we had tonight. We touched about everything one way or the other. And what I mean by touched it, we touched it physically, anally, whatever.
Emotionally, not this time.
No, not this time. We touched on it emotionally and knowledgeable way. So,
What are you, Tim? Are you like Dr. No over there with your petting your cat? I mean, are you part of Spectre? What the hell's going on? You're frightening me.
He was playing with my computer cord and then running back and forth behind the computer. You can see he's kind of wound up right now.
Goodbye,
So
Toledo.
This is Shere Khan. This is our little kitten.
Dr. Evil.
So cute.
Yeah, Dr. Evil. And then,
All right,
then
guys.
this is Bagheera that I mentioned earlier, the great big part Maine Coon cat. He's massive. Yeah, I know. You don't want to be picked up right now. He doesn't like to be messed with like that. He's a big boy.
You don't mess with a big boy.
I love him.
All right, guys. Well, we thank y'all for watching tonight, and we'll see y'all next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.